Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. How's it going, everyone? Hey, we're back. Hey, Idrisoft. How's it going? Such a great name. Idrisoft Gaming. Hey, Nix. What's up? How's everyone doing? It's only Wednesday? Yeah, sad. I know. It's a short holiday week, in the States at least. Hey, Rhiannon Journey. Beaming aboard with the Prime sub. Thank you so much. 5 months, 5-month streak. The Bezos Bucks went through today. Hooray! Hooray. Thank you so much. Idris, you're messing with VR and Unreal. Oh, fascinating. All right. I think we're going to be back to our regular business here today. Matthew Sparks. Howdy, howdy. Indeed. How are you doing? Been a minute. You ready for this long holiday weekend? Nix, you started working in Blender. Hopefully today will be more productive than the rest of the week and the week before. Well, Blender, I don't know about Blender, man. Blender is tough. I've had to use Blender a few times to adjust some like art assets that I've gotten, and I need someone to like explain to me every step about how to use Blender. And even then I'm annoyed by it. So yeah, good luck with that. There's a reason we're doing pixel art. Idris, you just got 0G working with the ability to pass into and back out of artificial gravity. That's super cool. That must be such a weird experience in VR to have your like frame of reference change because like the artificial gravity either engages or disengages. That's pretty cool. It really is. Yeah. I bet. I believe it. Matthew, you totally forgot we had a longer holiday weekend until this morning when you asked someone to meet with you on the July 4th. You're like, can we get together for a quick one-on-one meeting on Friday? It's like, no, get out. Can I get those? I'm gonna need you to stay on Friday so that I can get those TPS reports by Saturday. Thanks. Nix, you've been using Blender for over a decade, so it's kind of second nature to you by now, or at least it was back when you were still at 2.93. You took a break and now you're back at 4.4.3. Wow. Yeah, my partner is very experienced in Blender as well, but it's also from like a decade ago or whatever. So there always is like some time when I'm like, how do you do this again? And she's like, well, here's how you do it in theory. Now, as far as whether the interface still works that way. Yeah, so I get it. Blender is changing all the time. It's really the star child of like open source development, or FOSS or whatever you want to call it. Blender is incredible as a demonstration of what you can do. You wish you had holidays this week? Well, it's a mixed bag, Nix, because, you know, you got to be in the U.S. to be able to enjoy the U.S. holiday, and that's, you know, there's pros and cons, you know. Idris, God, you had to bring up that movie, didn't you? Office Space is an amazing movie. Office Space is the reason I resisted working in like a corporate environment for so long. I was like, I won't do it. It's definitely one of the great films. Matthew, you turned into an Office villain with your crest without realizing it. Yeah. That's how it is. You either die the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And I guess that's where we're at. I'm right there with you. I lived long enough to see myself become HR. So, you know. Idris, you work for yourself. It may not guarantee pay, but it guarantees freedom. That's the life. That's the American dream. Actually, that's just the dream in general. I would love to reach the point where we're working, where I'm able to work from home on game dev like full time. That would be crazy. I would need a lot of money. Okay, I don't remember which is the original rotation. I just did a bunch of camera rotations and I have no idea where we're at right now. But we're still sorting out this camera issue. And so I'm just going to try to figure out why camera rotation is kind of bugging the cutaway system here. Matthew, Office Space is accurate somehow, even working in an education environment. Oh no, you're HR? Yeah, I am. Sorry, you gotta go. Best of luck with the game thing. Yeah, thanks. To be fair, I'm back-end HR. I'm like, I do all the systems stuff and like paperwork, and I'm not like a front, like I don't have to deal with like employee relations and stuff like that. Like thank Odin. I'm more of like an analyst, like back-end specialist kind of person. But I'm still in that umbrella, so, you know. All right, so if we start rotating the camera, it almost works. I did some tweaking last night and it like almost works. I don't remember what the original camera angle was. Okay, so it was this. So the half wall stuff is not behaving correctly. Some of the terracing is looking right, but there's something. Hey, Adagon with the hydrate. Thanks so much. How's it going? Been any good jams lately? Idros, you're technically HR in the sense that if you ever hire anyone, you're the person that has to deal with the people. Yeah, that's being your own boss. If you want to complain about management, you're complaining about yourself, right? Hey, Diginanigans, how's it going? You haven't done a jam in a while, Adagon. GMTK is coming up, though. Is it? Nix, you thankfully work for a small indie company, 4 people. The company's been around for like 8 years now. You're slowly expanding. Nice. Small and steady is what you want to see, right? All right, GMTK 2025. Begins in 27 days, 22 hours, 28 minutes. Okay, about a month away. Nice. That'll be a big one. That could be cool. Adagon, can you use footage from my stream for the DDJ landing page? Making a compilation of dev work for the background? Yeah, sure. I'll try to be as interesting as possible. Yeah, feel free to use any footage you get from either my live stream or any of the VODs, because all the VODs are up on YouTube. That's cool. I am stoked. I'm gonna do everything I can to be in the next Down to Jam. I looked and I think I need to do it. Because I crashed out of the last Ludum Dare so hard. I think I need another I think I need to do a slightly lower stakes jam before the next Ludum Dare. I need like a win, you know? I need to like regain my confidence. And I think down to jam will be perfect for that ahead of the next Ludum Dare. Yeah, okay, so the half wall thing doesn't work. The terracing works, which is weird, but why doesn't it keeps defaulting to the interior cutaway instead of doing what it should be doing, which is this. Like, it should just be cutting away to a half wall for all of the foreground walls when you're in a compartment. And yet it doesn't happen when we're under camera rotation. So I'm guessing that means there's a problem, at least in the interior cutaway by cursor chords, and maybe also the other one as well. All right, let's see. Let's see where that problem may be. Can you link current progress? Yeah. Let's see it. Diginanigans, you're not doing too bad. Another hectic week. You think the rest of your day should be going a little easier going? Nice. Yeah, I'm always torn whenever there's a holiday week because I work so hard just so that I can take a day off. Taurus, how's it going? Wow, everyone's popping in today. It's okay if I show this, right? Down to Jam, Community Center Game Jam, September 5th through 8th. Yeah, that's perfect. I think that'll be perfect for me. Is that... Where is that relative to Labor Day? Is that Labor Day weekend or the weekend after? Again, I say I'm HR and I like don't know holidays. Like don't know when holidays occur. Okay, it's the weekend after Labor Day. Okay, because Labor Day is on September 1st, right? Monday, September 1st. Okay, cool. That's sweet. Looking forward to that. That's the new landing page you're working on, where the video would go. That'll be cool. That's awesome. I'm gonna try making like a score chaser or something for that. Go back to what I know, you know? Depending on the theme. All right, so we suspect that something is happening under camera rotation that is unusual. I can't see how it would be in this function. Cursor chords, input chords, if blocks contains blocks.aabb.view absolute. That's all correct. Cursor chords, cutaway bounds is cursor chords plus xy, cursor chords plus xy times 4 for each. Yeah, I don't see anything in this that would cause the problem, so there's got to still be something in here that's causing an issue. Probably specifically with these half bulk cutaways, because the higher Z levels are working correctly. But the cursor's Z level is behaving wrong. So blocks.get block coords. Oh, block coords needs to be blocks.aabb.get absolute or absolute view absolute. Yeah, because if we're referencing blocks, that's in absolute coordinates, so we got to get it back into the absolute state. Cursor bounds is in relative coordinates, so that's okay. All right, we might have fixed it. Ooh, that's weird. All right, let's see what happens now when we do a camera rotation. Let's first make sure nothing is broken here. Hey, Skywalk. What's up? You seem like you've been very productive lately. You've been sharing a lot in the Share Your Work channel on the Discord. Okay, all right, we're doing it. Look at that. We do a camera rotation. It all works exactly the same as if we hadn't rotated the camera. Let's do another camera rotation. Hey, all right. So the cutaway system is now fully camera compliant. That is great news. I made a subtle change recently to the dark gray colorings. I lightened the top levels a little bit. I think it makes a really big difference for understanding what's a sidewall versus a top wall. I didn't do that originally because I figured there's no light within a middle hull like that, so it should all be dark, but it looks like we're like applying almost an additional light post cutaway, and I think that looks a lot better. I think it's a lot easier to tell compared to like a couple weeks ago what the surfaces are, and yeah, that's looking good. Skywalk, yeah, you were procrastinating your releases, but you finally had a bug breakthrough, so you pushed some releases out. It makes zero difference. Nobody play your game. Oh, well, it is really hard to get games noticed on like itch. Really tough. This is looking good. Thanks, Rhiannon. How's it going? Yeah, we've achieved camera relative stuff. Let's see if we can select blocks correctly. All right, the only thing that's maybe off is I think the outlining rules need to be updated for the grid, for the selection grid. I don't know if I'll do that right now, though. And then if we rotate the camera, the selection grid comes with it. What we really need to do is handle the rotation a little bit better. Instead of rotating around the origin, we need to start rotating around either like the midpoint of the camera or like, yeah, basically that. It's kind of disorienting the way it jumps around when we rotate the construction. All right. Well, that's good news, everyone. Adagon, you need some more expensive redeems. I know. I've tried, like I set up the raid master redeem so that people could like direct our raids, but I realized that's like very limited appeal because like you have to be here when the stream is ending, or you have to know that the person's gonna be online. I mean, you could redeem the raid master and then go live when I'm and I'd have to raid into you. Yeah, no, I need some bigger redeems. What's also concerning, Diginanigans, you would expect it to rotate around the center of the camera. Yeah, that's what we're thinking. But yeah, I'm almost at the level on YouTube where I qualify for YouTube memberships, which I guess are like Twitch subscriptions, and I have no features developed for it, and so I'm like, oh, I gotta put some effort. He is dead, Jim. Thanks, Skywalk. I gotta put some more effort into like having some value to people who spend time and money on the channel. What if you raid master me into myself? Oh no, I'd have to raid into myself. How does that work? Poor Earthworm Jim is dead. Skywalk, that's funny. Shenanigans. If you were to do zoom at all, would expect it to do it either relative to camera or relative to cursor. I like relative to cursor, but I don't think we're gonna do that. I think there's gonna be like I think it'll be like centered on the thing because of how zoom works for us. We only have 2 steps of zoom. We have like what we spend most of our time on, which is full zoom in for like interior ship direction stuff, like moving crew around. When you zoom out, you only see the exterior of the ship and you see it at half scale. So I'll probably recenter. But yeah, maybe when you zoom in towards the cursor, and then when you zoom out, you recenter. Let's put that on the task list, though, the camera-centric. I'm going to move cursor block outline into the in progress. I want to work on this next. And I'm going to add a card here. We're going to call it like camera-centric rotation or something like. Unless I have that on here somewhere already. Camera-centric rotate. Rotate around camera. I don't know. Say camera-centric rotate. Sounds good. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We're still working on the block cutaway aware auto-tiled outlines. There's a number of 90-degree camera rotations works now. So I think should the camera-centric rotate just be part of our 90-degree camera rotations thing? We should just move this back and delete this. The copy, cut, and paste tool, I do still need to thoroughly test that. I'm going to move block cutaway aware auto-tiled outlines because I think it actually is in the testing phase. Because all that's left are some really nitpicky edge cases. So let's do these two next. I don't know if I totally understand the in-review testing category, but it's standard. We're going to keep using it. All right, yeah, what I want is a cursor outline. So when you're cursoring around, you know, like here a block is following the cursor around. But if I'm just like here, especially if I don't have anything selected, I would like essentially something like this. This is jumping around because I have to left click to do this, but I think I would like this to just follow the camera, you know? We would need it to actually continue to follow the camera maybe outside of the buildable area. Yeah, I just want some indication of this is where your cursor is. Or like this is the block that corresponds to your cursor. And we can have stuff get highlighted or selected or whatever. And then maybe we have a different thing if you're like not over a selection. But yeah, I would like to add something like that so you can follow the cursor around a little more. And then we can do some stuff like some projection so that you have some idea where you are in terms of like Z level. So if you're like, we used to have this, I did something that totally broke it. But we used to have like a kind of shadow projection. So like if your cursor was like way above the ground, you would see a little projected like thing below you that would let you know that's kind of where you are, but you're like a few Z levels above it. I want something like that. I would like something like that. All right, so what do we need to do to have a mouse cursor hover thing? Probably need to do it in the tool system, which we haven't touched for a while. Who uses this? Oh, you use this. Okay. All right, so what we need to do is this essentially would happen in the hover. So let's go up to the hover state, hover command. So if we're hovering around, right now, all we do is we preview block. If active block tool is not equal to block.empty, else if clipboard active, okay, yeah, here. So we could do another else, and we could have it essentially, we could do an else. So if hidden blocks dot try get value out block value if value is empty, blah 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 blah, for z equals game z plus 1, not pre-blue blocks contains, if pre-blue blocks contains it's empty. Projection. Whoa, so this is how we do the thing. This is how we do the illusion of like the height of the cursor. Nix, this song makes you feel like you're stuck in a 2-bit matrix with a space clown. This song is called Fool's Pirate by Abstraction. So you're not wrong. Abstraction has some good video game kind of stuff. Yeah, I was watching a friend of mine who streams yesterday, and they were playing conga music at like 3 to 4 times the volume of their speaking voice, and I was just like, I cannot cannot hang with it. I thought I was losing my mind. Oh, I love that. Adagon Conga. You used that earlier. That is such a smooth emote. It looks so high res. How is that so high res? That's like vector graphics. It looks so good. By James B. Barrow. That's some good stuff. You commission like the best emotes, Adagon. I think I let my subscription lapse. I don't have these. I need to fix that. Needs to be 5x the speaking voice. Yeah, exactly. Bonk. Like a kobold bonk. It looks like a kobold. You want to commission more, but you don't have the slots for them? Yeah. I'm certainly not using all of my slots, and I don't anticipate doing it soon because I make new emotes so rarely. Yeah, I basically have to do a game jam, and then I get a new emote. All right. Okay. So we still have the code that calculates the shadow projection for the cursor, which is great. I forgot that we had this. So that's great. So hidden triangle, blah, 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 out block value. If block value is empty. Interesting. I wonder why this isn't doing anything anymore. We probably just don't use game.input.projection for anything. Huh. I wonder where we'll put that. All right, well, let's focus. So I think the easiest thing to do is to basically imitate this. We say reveal block at, just for safety, we say reveal block at prior chords. We can basically say this whole thing. Preview blocks contains. And then here we can say This is place block at. We need a select block at. Where do we have that? Select. What do we do to select a block? Select only active blocks. No, not what I want. Again. Select blocks. Oh, and the selection works on the settled blocks? Interesting. That is not what I would expect. Oh, I do have a select block. Block. What? How does this function work? Oh, I see. Hold on. You're really upset about this curly bracket here. All right, so we put in a bounding box. We say coords. I wonder if there should be an implicit conversion from coords to a bounding box. We could just say new AABB. But I feel like you should be able to convert a vector 3 coordinate to a bounding box. Should I just add that here as a thing we can do? That's like a constructor. Put this at the bottom. That was easy. Now we throw this in here. Oh, we got a spam bot, y'all. We got a spam bot in the chat. Load the photon torpedoes. Target, I don't know. Whatever. Prepare to get banned. Account created 18 hours ago. Blasted. Blast him. All right.
He's dead, Jim.
He is dead, Jim. Converts a vector 3i to an C ref equals AABB. Needs to be T Godot, no, T DI dot AABB. To a single point. All right, can I just do this now? I just pass in coords here. Settled blocks. Super weird that that is how we do that. I don't think that's how we should do that. Yeah, let's actually try doing it like this. Select blocks. Anything else we need to do when we're first selecting a block? Game.input.selection. Okay, that's fun. It looks like our implicit conversion works. Anything else we need to do? Select blocks. If command.next.step is not equal to add deselect blocks. Oh, that's what I need to do. I need to deselect blocks, not reveal block in. Although maybe I need to do that anyway. We're just gonna try this. I don't know if this is gonna work. We'll just try it. See what's going on. So this will only work if we don't have a tool, which is kind of not exactly how I want it to be. I kind of want it to... I want it to draw, but only when we're like... Okay, so what if I don't have anything selected? Okay, nothing happens. You know why that probably is probably because we probably don't use... No, we do though. Well, let's swap that. Let's say settled blocks first. Because the preview blocks might not be used for the outlining. The way we've set it up. No, it seems to not do anything. Oh. Okay, it kind of works. It doesn't clean itself up, but that's fine. Deselect blocks. Okay, that kind of is how I want it to work. And then so if we did this, we got rid of this, and then we went up. So if we go down to this level, it'll show right here. But I want it to like, here's the problem. The select only works on like an actual... No, that's fine. We actually don't need to implement that shadow drop thing. Because we are going to switch to like a raycast input, right? So if you're above the thing, there won't be any above below. That won't be a meaningful distinction. Your cursor will just raycast onto whatever thing you can touch. And then you'll cut away and stuff from there. So this is actually good enough for now. And so like if I place some like walls, then I do this. Yeah, okay. It works for this as well. Maybe the only issue is that you can't see it when you're like, when you have this build thing going. Maybe that's kind of what I want. Why does that not work all of a sudden? Oh, is it trying to... I think I know what's happening here. I think this is a delay. Oh yeah, it's like hanging. It's the flood fill algorithm. It's hanging. That's unfortunate. Yeah, you see that? It's not doing any. It's just waiting. Ooh, that's not good. Ooh, that's not good. Skywalk. It's funny. It's funny that I said that earlier, that you release a lot of stuff. In reality, it's more like everyone is stuck in OOP, design pattern, refactor, clean code, abstractions, interfaces. Not sure why we're doing it, but everybody else does it. While you're in the category, if it works, ship it. Yeah, no, I get it. You can definitely get bogged down in architecture and stuff. Diginanigans, you're gonna call it a day. No worries. Take care. Best of luck with the cursor stuff. Editor's starting to look a lot more polished. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. Take it easy. Surely it'll be perfect on the 20th refactor. That's what I'm saying, you know? All right, so technically we do have a cursor block outline. I don't think it's working in every situation that we want it to work in. Maybe what we do is we say, maybe we don't make this an else. Maybe we just make this a thing that happens. Although, if the clipboard is active, that's a very different thing, isn't it? Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so it's not affecting this because we are in... Okay. Okay, I think this is what I want. So, like, if we're building something new, that's what you see. But if you're clicking something like... Or if you're hovering over something like this, you see this transition. I think that transition is kind of what we want. There are cases where it's going to fail. Like, if I select this... Ooh, yeah, like, that's not good. We don't want that. And then similarly, if I do this, this is not quite right either. Oh, interesting how this works. Yeah, maybe that isn't what I want. Oh. What made you crash? Huh. This check. No good. Skywalk, do you have Control-Shift-Alt keybind support in that editor? Let's say you want to select something and want to add one more tile. Can you hold Shift and click it to select that one more tile? Sort of. Hey, where am I? My day is going good. How's the project progressing? It's all right. We're working on our tile editor, our tile block editor. We got a list of tasks to finish. And it's going okay. So, like, Skywalk, if I just do this and then I do this over here, ignore the fact that, like, the corner gets clipped out. So I can do this and it's like it replaces the selection, right? But I can also do this and then Shift and it'll add to it. So yeah, so we have Shift support. If I release Shift. Okay, so we need to get rid of this hover deselecting things. Too many tabs. Too many tabs. All right, so do you have sudo rm rf support? Yeah. We're working on it. Hold on, someone just texted me. All right. Okay, so that the way we're doing the selection is not going to work. Maybe I don't want to do this. We might No, I don't need a separate thing because of how the cursor works. Maybe we do need a separate thing. Maybe this is where the dotted line version of the selection works. Maybe we use the dotted line version instead of the solid line version, and we call it something else, like hovered. Oh, sorry, where am I? I see your messages. What stage do you say this project's at? Like 30% done? You're making sure that main systems work like they should be, which is the hard part and the most time-consuming one too. Yeah, so I would say, so what we're doing, where am I, is where we're working on the tools that will help us build the game. So right now this is like an editor tool for us to like build these like the rooms of like the 3D ship. So we're gonna have all these 3D rooms, and we'll lay out the block types and everything, and we'll decorate them and all that stuff. So we're working on an editor tool. So it's kind of hard to gauge because we aren't really working on the game. We are kind of in a way, but we're really working on like a set of tools. So it's hard to give a percentage. This is very like pre-production work, but I think it's worth doing. Because it'll make, if I'm working on this game for years, having a good tool will pay for itself very quickly. But yeah, we're still pretty early in this project, I would say. All right, so I don't think we can treat this as a select. I think we need something new, which is unfortunate. We could also just not affect the game.input.selection. We could just get rid of this. Yeah, I think I want the dotted line version for when you're doing this. So now if you select stuff, oh, this still deselects things. I understand. Okay, yeah, we do need a different workflow. This is gonna end up being a lot more work than I thought it would be. Am I using AI? How helpful has it been in your experience? It has not been at all helpful because I'm not using it, except for this IDE, JetBrains Writer. It has an autocomplete feature, which is AI powered, and it's mostly wrong. It does help me with some really, really boilerplate code. It helps me write it, but it is not very good. Or it makes mistakes very easily if there's any changes. But it's okay at boilerplate. That's pretty much all I've used so far is the inbuilt JetBrains Writer tool. We also need to re-enable the tile block eraser. Do I have that in my list of tasks? Because that's a huge one that I broke. Eyedropper block tool. We can call this a tile block eraser tool, maybe. That seems like a big one, but we broke that a while ago and we need to re-implement it. Like we very seriously broke it. It'll probably take some work. I have to remember that this list is about tasks, not features. Because I'm tempted to say like, oh, I'm working on the block cutaway aware auto-tiled outlines, right? Like that's technically part of the block cutaway system, which I said is completed. Maybe this shouldn't have been put on here as like a task because it's not really a task, but this whole thing was empty and I felt bad because we made it recently. But I have to remember that it's okay to do it like this. At some point, I might get more serious about having it be a feature, filling this with features, and then each feature can have its own like note card if it needs like a bunch of describing of what we're doing. But for right now, this is okay. I might change my mind about that. John Romero worked on tools too when he worked at id. He said tools were a crucial investment, especially when you're making many games. Yeah. Or for me, because I'm making the game by myself, right? I need to like leverage my time. The Butterscotch Shenanigans dev. But if you think the tool is just for one project or only work for this project, then you don't know. I mean, it's a fairly general tile block editor tool. Like it could work in other situations. It would need to be adapted, but it would work for any isometric, quote unquote, isometric game. I've been tempted to templatize some of this stuff so that I could use it in other games, like in a jam project or whatever, but I don't know if that's worth doing. But a good example of someone who invested a lot of time in tools and it paid off would be the Butterscotch Shenanigans devs, the devs that made Crashlands 2 and obviously Crashlands 1. But this is a very small dev team. They're really good. I've been really enjoying playing this on my Steam Deck. They took like almost a year off of working on the game to build a tool to make it so that non-programmers could make content. Like they could implement game features, like they could create creatures and weapons and encounters and all of this stuff. They made this very complex tool to like quote unquote democratize development of the actual content of the game. Because before it was like the programmer had to be involved to implement every piece of content in the game. And so they templatized that sort of the process. And now the artist by themselves can make a piece of art, put it in the game as a certain thing. They could be like, it's a sword. It does this. It has this characteristic. Like, and they say that sped up the content development of their game like 10x easily. And so like they spent like 6 months working on this tool, and then they ended up making the rest of the content in the game over like a year and a half. So it's like, what if they didn't have this tool? How long would that year and a half have been turned into, right? Would it have been 3 years? Would it have been 4.5? 6? Like, it's hard to say. So I believe firmly in tools development. Will it be worth it? I don't know if that's going to be like a thing that we'll ever really be able to definitively say. All right, so, okay, let's think this through. If we want to have like a hovered thing, should we do it like, what should we do it like? Do I want to even bother doing this? I really would like a cursor outline, a thing that like shows you where your cursor is. but I can't do it as a select. I might have to think about that. We might have to circle back, to use my corpo speak. Nix, if for nothing else, it's a good learning exercise. Hey, Void Const. It's going to be worth it probably just for the experience of having made it and having learned new things while doing it. Yeah. If you both had that same thought at the same time, it's probably true, you know? Nix, also talking about making tools to help generate data is good. You use it all of the time at your current work. Yeah, I might do that to the point of like overkill. My boss will occasionally be like, look, it's cool to build tools for stuff that we do multiple times, but if you're going to do something literally once, maybe we don't make a tool for it. Maybe we just do it. And I'm like, oh, but I could be making a tool. So I might have this quality to a fault, you know. I might go overboard with it sometimes. All right. So I don't know if I understand how I want this cursor outline thing to work. But making the tool is so much fun. Exactly, VoidCons. How are you doing? We're about to hit ads. Sorry for everyone that gets hit by the ads. Nix. No, you need a tool, because what happens if in the future you need to redo that same job? We need to automate everything. That is my opinion. I'm of that opinion. But I don't make the decisions. Okay, maybe we go back to fixing the outline cutaway, because this is broken. You see all these black lines here? None of these should be here. And actually some of them that should be here aren't. So we could do that. We could work on the cutaway. And that would just be about tweaking the rules for them to make sense. I know I said I was going to be done working on the cutaway system on stream. So I feel bad if I spend time on it. But it is something we need to do. Let's look at our task list. The cursor thing I'm not sure about. I need to think about how I want to implement that. We also need to implement that other thing I talked about. All right, so we've got a block editor history. We don't really collect that yet. And we need that. That's probably, these two things depend on that probably. The save load block sets. It depends on it to an extent. The undo redo block tool really depends on the block editor history. Can I fit the word tile in front of this, or will that be too long? That's too long. Okay, we're in ads. 2-minute ad break here. Tile set Atlas Builder. This is a huge undertaking. We're not going to do this now. This might actually be something we leave on hold and come back to this. This is going to be a huge project. Building the tile atlas from the finished pieces, like going backwards. Raycast cursor input. I really want to do this where we like fake a raycast. We probably want to do this sooner because, or at least practice by doing the camera, the rotating around the camera. Blocks need to rotate around the camera. Right now they rotate around the world origin, which is pretty disorienting. Well, technically what they do is they rotate around their own center point, which in isolation is correct, but not what we want to happen. Resizable block buffer, we need to do that. Auto tile invalid blocks. Ooh, that's something we could do. We would need to put it in the where am I? You watched the first Crashland GDC talk years ago, but don't remember. But you remember much of it. You remember they had production pipeline problem and their way of solving it. Yeah, that was before this. I think I remember that talk too. They've given a few talks, but the talk I really like is something. It's called like Design by Chaos or something like that. And it described a very fluid design process, which I kind of like. Hey, Void Const. Oh, you used to be NanoBlit. Oh, what's up? You're good. You bought a program called PicoCAD for making tiny 3D models. It's somehow so much more engaging to make a dinky 3D model than play a video game somehow, it seems like, for you at least. Yeah, I definitely feel that nowadays, where I feel like I'll try to play some games and I'll be like, I don't really want to play any of these games. And I'll be like, oh, what do I want to do? And it's like, oh, I actually want to work on my own game. So that makes sense. That kind of happens. I would love to see some of the things, the little models you're making. I don't remember if you're in the Discord, but if you're not, we have that Discord, a community Discord, and some share your work channels. Because, yeah, that sounds really cool. Anyway, what else could we do? So eyedropper block tool, paint bucket tool, expand block palette, tile block eraser tool. We should probably do this, huh? Tile block eraser tool. I'm going to move the cursor block outline back to on hold. I'm going to put this one back because this is something we actually need. I've been running into a problem where I literally can't erase blocks. Let's work on that. That seems like a good thing to work on. So why doesn't it work? Like, what did I do that broke the eraser? Let's just see. Let's just turn this back on and see what's so wrong with it. For all I know, it could probably just work. I know I turned it off for a good reason. But it was so long ago, I don't remember what that reason was. Alright, so we do this, and then I hit E. I hit E again. You know, it probably has to do with the... it probably has to do with the two block spaces. Because we have a preview block space and a settled block space. And I think maybe when you merge the two, it doesn't make a lot of sense. If block eraser mode, erase block at. Game.input.change bounds. Okay, so eraser is actually just a toggle. So that just turns the eraser on or off. So now we can toggle the eraser, but the thing is, it's not doing anything, which means it's not being implemented in this place argument. Nix, you got some cool news. Ooh. Cool for you, at least. The Pink Tea Company, I know who we were talking about, is finally bringing in glass fiber to your city. So you'll soon have the ability to actually have some decent internet speed. If only it wasn't so expensive. Oof. Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. We had fiber lines run through here. I don't know. I think it was maybe just before the pandemic. Um, yeah, it's great. My ISP is really great. I have 1-to-1 upload download speeds. Like my uploads aren't capped, which is part of the reason why we're multi-streaming in 4K. So yeah, I appreciate how big a difference it is to have a good ISP. Or at least good speed. But yeah, I'm sure it's expensive. Because I guess we've decided that the internet is a privilege, not a right, you know? We don't treat it like a utility like we should. It should be treated like the water company or the power company or anything else. But it's not, because people in charge they just don't understand, man. You got it, Rhiannon Journey. All right, so the place command needs to be able to handle erasures. I think the problem might be in these functions, the place new active blocks and reveal inactive blocks. Does my block merge tool not handle this? Let's figure out where the disconnect is happening. All right. Hidden blocks, buffer span, erase block. Active block tool, merge block. Okay, so it's trying erase block. Return incoming.form 0. Incoming.form 0 is super confusing. I think the switch is a logical switch and not a bitwise switch. So 0, I guess, just means it has no form. So if the incoming form is empty, okay. Otherwise, throw new argument, unrecognized block type. Okay, so it is recognizing the block types. Nix, currently you're surviving with 100 megabits per second, out of which you usually only get like 50. So yeah, back in the country you're originally from, Hungary, you had a gigabit. It only cost like $6. Oh my god. Yeah, gigabit's great. Yeah, I have gigabit up, gigabit down. I pay more than $6, but where you are now, the 100 megabit is like $55. Oh man, yeah. I don't know what I'm not quite sure what I pay for internet. I know it's gone up over time, but all right, so why doesn't this work? So if it's not there, maybe, well, we don't even see the erasure when we are hovering. So maybe, excuse me, maybe that's where we start. Because if I draw something here and then I switch to the eraser, I should see holes getting punched in this. And I do not. So let's start with that. So if active block tool is not equal to block.empty, Rhiannon, you're funny. Yeah, we're trying. All right, reveal block at if preview blocks.aabb.contains coords if block eraser mode is being engaged. Yes, it is. So it's not even working here. So it's not even working when we toggle it. So it should also be working when we toggle it. You know, I think I know where this is falling apart. I think it's actually at the very bottom of the process. I think it has to do with the way we're merging the blocks. Because we have to merge the settled blocks with the preview blocks. So we have to merge the blocks that are like committed, right? Like the things that we've actually placed down. We have to merge those with the blocks that are just in preview, like things that we're like hovering or that we're in the middle of placing or whatever. Stuff that hasn't been committed yet. We have to merge those two buffers together for the auto tiler, because the auto tiler needs to work on both of them. And I think in there, we're basically, I think because even if the preview block says it's empty, like it's been erased, the settled block is still there. And I think it's overwriting the difference. So I think that is the problem, maybe? Where do we settle the blocks? Settle preview blocks. Where is that? So we say block.merge, settle blocks, preview blocks, reveal blocks in, preview blocks.aabb, preview blocks. Yeah, I think that's the problem. We also need to stop supporting we need to tighten up some of the block functions on the tool system. I've started moving them over to the block as static functions, like merge. Like merge should be the same for all blocks. All right, so incoming form switch. Here's the problem: 0 existent. If the incoming form is 0 and there is an existent form, we just default to the end. This is not correct. So maybe we need like an exclusive merge and like an inclusive merge. That doesn't totally make sense. So some of this works. Here we are. So this isn't fully inclusive. There is an exclusive. So if the new form has a floor, so this shouldn't be existent. This should be existent with form equals, or here it should be existent dot remove forms Actually, it should just be block.empty, huh? I think that's the problem. I think that's literally the entire problem. Let's see if that's true. Whoa. Okay. Well, that's not what I wanted to have happen. So we're putting all these in the preview block, and then we're letting go, and they're just gone. Existent, incoming. If I say existent, so return incoming form switch. So that's weird that we're hitting the 0, because the incoming form shouldn't be 0. The incoming form should be forms.deck. So maybe this should be existent. And then deck should be existent with form equals existent.form or incoming form. So we combine the forms, and then we remove any bulks or doors. I see. Okay, so yeah, this is the problem. Let's see here. So we say, oh, this is the wrong function. So we want block.merge, which is this function. Output, input. So the settle blocks are the output. Preview blocks are the input. So if output length is whatever, no, for I is 0, I is less than output, output.span I equals merge, primary input, secondary input. Oh, no, it's this one. Output.span equals merge, output.span, input.span. So how does it work this way? So when I have it written this way, we can place this thing and it will stay. We can't erase it. Man, there's some bad auto tiling issues here. Or outlining issues. You can kind of see the outline disappearing as I do this. But I'll figure that out. That's not the issue of the hour. Issue of the hour is that I can't erase blocks. So weird. But if I say if incoming form is 0, so if incoming form is essentially blank, can I say, oh, I can't list 0 as a form. It has to remain just the absence of form. Otherwise, there are some logical comparisons that break. So I just say 0. So if the incoming form is empty, then it should That's what you should get out. You should say like existent with form equals block dot form block dot empty dot form. Just say empty form. This should work. But it's not going to. I'm going to try to place this and it's just going to all disappear. Yeah, how is that what happens here? Very strange. What if we just say incoming? Let me do this. Same deal. Huh. What if I do this? Huh. Very strange. It's almost like our switch statement is not doing anything at all. What if we just get rid of this case? Oh, immediately. Unrecognized block type. Where are you being called from, though? Block.merge toolsystem.run. Why are you... Oh, are you running all the time? You should only run if there's... Oh. I see. No, you should run all the time. Huh. So yeah, I think when we're merging blocks, this zero case, I think this switch statement is causing us some real pain. But if I just default to this incoming form, that should just work. That should just work. Because when we're placing blocks in preview mode, we're placing them to the preview blocks. So if we just heavily favor the preview blocks, we should be in good shape. Settle preview blocks, settled blocks. Are we sending these in reverse or something? No. Preview blocks, settled blocks. Blocks on merge. Reveal blocks in. Well, we're doing this merge, but oh, we're merging into this buffer. Yeah, that should work. That should work. Merge, output, input. Output.span I equals merge, output.span I, input.span I. Turn incoming form switch. I think something happened to the music. I'd like to listen to a different song, please. Come on, Pretzel Rocks. Do you indeed? I'm gonna restart the music here while I get just kind of flummoxed by whatever issue we've run into. Oops. Nothing like a bit of awkward silence. There we go. Okay, so it doesn't look like we're like passing the wrong thing in. Like we pass in the preview blocks and then the settled blocks, which is the correct order. We're writing to the settled blocks or the preview blocks. Hey, Infinite Nathan, how's it going? Welcome in. The real shame is that I understood that I broke this when I implemented this, but I don't understand what is happening here. It seems like it's treating almost every form as if it... All right, here, I'm going to test out some of these other cases. If I do this... Oh, I have to change this. Existence. So if I do this, I got this. If I make this solid, it adds that to the form. And then and then I can hollow it out again. So all of that works. Problem is I can't erase anything. Huh. I guess I should see what we're recording when we're erasing. We should be hitting that. I'm gonna try. Let's say what if we could call this empty.form? Oops. Oh, it will complain about this because it's not compile time constant. Yeah, constant value is expected. Out of curiosity, what is the value of empty.form? What's FTL? FTL is a classic video game from 2012. FTL, faster than light. It's the classic, like, spaceship piloting, like, spaceship captain game, like, spaceship management. Quote-unquote spaceship simulation roguelike-like. I love that that's on there. Yeah, this game is great. Classic. And a flatterer recently came out in the form of Void War, which is pretty great if you want to play something newer that's similar. We're trying to do something similar. We're trying to do an isometric 3D kind of take on it that has a lot more verticality. Like, it's not just a top-down, flat 2D ship. And so we're working on this 3D, this isometric 3D tool to be able to build that space out. You used to be addicted to those kinds of games. Are you not addicted anymore, or have you just stopped playing those kinds of games? But yeah, so we can make these 3D spaces. And hollow them out here. We can like partition them. So we've been mostly working on tools. And so you've got this cutaway system that lets you view these 3D spaces in isometric 2D. You just found other genres? Fair, fair. You're like, I'm addicted to other games now. Yeah, there's something nice to this that we've got going on here. Yeah, we broke our eraser tool, so we can place blocks, but we can't erase them now. So we've just been trying to understand why and what we did. I'm like convinced we're like passing the parameters around incorrectly. That's like the only thing I can think of to explain what's happening here, but it really doesn't look like we're doing that. Block dot merge, settle blocks, preview blocks. Block dot merge, output, input. I should really reverse that, but so the output span of I is the result of merging the output span of I and the input span of I. And then this is our merge function. And it says, okay, what is the form? What is the incoming form? Depending on the incoming form, we manipulate the outgoing form a certain way. And this seems to be the thing that we're having issues with. This seems to catch almost everything. So like if I let's say existent dot remove forms. Let's just say forms dot deck. I don't know, whatever. I'm just trying to clarify that this is always happening. So let's put a wall and a floor in every spot and see what we get when we post merge. If I'm right, all the floors will be removed. Yep. So yeah, so it's our switch statement. That's very weird. So that's unfortunate. But it's good that we figured it out. So none of these other cases ever seem to run, which is very strange. Very strange. I guess we rewrite this not as a switch statement, but like as a chain of if-elses for the moment, just to see if we can get that to work right. Oh my god. Just give me the 0. There you go. Let's just write this differently, just to sanity check this. So we can say if incoming dot form is equal to bulk or block dot empty dot form. We're going to say return empty. Let's say if let's do this. Let's do this at the top and then do a switch. And we just get rid of that 0 case. Let's see if this fixes it. This might just really showcase how our switch statement just doesn't work, which is fair. We're making logical comparisons instead of like bitwise stuff. Yeah, what the absolute F is happening there? Because we know the form is not empty. It's like there's floor pieces here. Like we know this is here. And in fact, this is being correctly merged on a continuing basis. Like we're merging right now. Well, we're not merging right now. Oh no, we are. Oh shoot. Settling blocks is different than merging them. Maybe that's where I'm going astray here. Maybe I was right and we need an inclusive merge versus an exclusive merge. Or maybe we just say something like this. Maybe we go back here. Because I think this is our problem. So our settled preview blocks thing works one way. It seems to be broken, but it works one way. And then I think what's happening is we're doing something else. So here, not here. Here, he says as he gets towards the run. Here we go. So merging blocks. So we make this buffer. And then we merge these two. So yeah, I need like an inclusive merge. Or maybe I need like a rewrite or something. I need to like make a distinction. Maybe we say like displace instead of merge. Or replace or whatever. I don't know. Maybe we say replace. Okay, so this is maybe part of the problem. Oh, we are writing to this input, aren't we? Oh. So when we do the 3-parameter merge, which is we write to the output combining these two inputs, this primary input is being changed by this process, is it not? No, it's not. It's not. Okay. Okay, well I was hopeful that was the issue. So if it's not merge, so let's write a replace function. Public block replace form. I don't know. No, it's not the form, it's the whole block. Oh no, it is just the form. So we have remove forms and we have replace form. We say forms, form. We'll say block. I don't know if this should be replace or displace. I think replace is fine. We'll say existent. We'll say block. Incoming. So the incoming block is going to replace the existing block. And is this actually just so straightforward? It's just incoming. We'll say if incoming dot form is equal to block dot empty dot form. Oh man, we have to Here's the problem. We have to be able to distinguish between actively erasing something from just passing in an empty bit of data. This is why I disabled the eraser. So we actually need to be able to note that the form is like negative somehow. That's the problem. Is so like if we detect a blank incoming block, that will just erase all of the blocks. We need to note that a form has been placed there, but that it's the eraser form. So maybe okay. So we need to pass in like a bit of information to let the system know that what actually needs to happen here. Okay, so 0 existent. We need to let the system know that this is an erasure. So the way we're going to do that, let's make sure that I restored what I just broke. Yeah, I did. Okay. All right, so we do want merge to be inclusive. So we'll probably have a separate block.erase. So merge is inclusive, it's additive, and then erase is going to be subtractive. And we just need to so when we do this settled blocks thing, so here we say settle preview blocks, we need a bool. I want to flip these, by the way. I want to swap like this. Change. So where else do we do this? Here, up here, paste. So we have settle preview blocks. So what should we call this? What should we say? Should we say that it's like exclusive, or should we say, we could say bool exclusive equals false? I don't love that. It's not very descriptive. I think we can safely trigger the whole function to be either additive or subtractive, because the eraser mode is either on or off. That will work during regular placements and stuff. The thing that might not work super great that way is copy paste, because copy paste will just like merge things together, and you might get some weird stuff if you copy over something that's already there. But I guess that's okay. I guess that's okay behavior. So we'll say this for now. We're gonna say exclusive question mark. Oh, we'll say if exclusive block.erase settled blocks preview blocks, else block.merge so now we need to define block.erase here. Why is this static function way down here? I feel like the iterator should be down here somewhere. Oh, so should this. Oh, so should all of this. Why are my static functions so low? I should probably call this set forms, not add forms. And then I should also probably have clear forms, because it's a bitwise operation sort of deal that's happening. I don't know, whatever. So here we're going to say public static block erase block existent block incoming. I don't know if existent and incoming totally work here. I think instead of incoming, this should be like... yeah, whatever. So here we'll use this same logic. But we're just going to we're going to exclude whatever it is. So if incoming form is 0, then we just send block.empty.form. Actually, we say existent dot remove forms existent. Or we could say existent with form equals 0. Do I still want select to be restored or retained? Oh, no, it's existent. Incoming form, switch, erase, 0. Oh, no, it's just existent. This doesn't change. This is part of the problem I'm running into. So if the incoming form has a floor, then we want to say existent with form equals... We just want to say existent.remove forms floor. I actually want to change how the merge works now. Does it really matter what is coming in here? Probably. All right, so here, so now we're being exclusive. So if... Well, here we want to treat this differently. Forms.both existent.remove forms forms.both. Can't we just say what happens if we try to remove an empty form? Forms this with form or it form and not forms. That's correct. Okay, so we can we don't even need a switch statement for this, I don't think. I think we can just say return existent.remove forms incoming.form. If we say outgoing, maybe outgoing is good for that, because that's kind of what's happening. All right, let's try this. Let's try this. Oh, we need a version of this. So we need this version. We need these two versions. Or we at least need this version. A little confusing have it be input output like this, but that should do it. Let's see if that did anything. So now, if I throw this down here... Oh-ho! We can punch a hole in the floor now. Okay, so we can erase from the preview. Oh, that's weird. Why can't we... Why is it remembering what we're doing? That's unfortunate. I don't know what's going on here. Very strange. We're making holes. Looks cool. It looks cool. It doesn't work right. It's like it's remembering what we're doing. Very strange. It's remembering what we're doing during the settle phase. So now it's not even letting us erase these. We must not be cleaning it up totally correctly. Oh, we're not setting exclusive. Lol. Rhiannon Journey, this is for the scenario where the quantum structure of the universe is breaking down and things stop working as expected. That feels like every day for me. But yeah, we have like the universe starts to disappear or whatever. All right, we got ads coming in. Watch out. That was a great time to redeem your Prime subs. Get rid of these ads. All right, so what I need to do is I need to say settle preview blocks, and I need to pass in eraser mode. Lock eraser mode. Yeah, there you go, Nix. F those ads. Yeah, you got your sweet iron DI badge. You dodge them ads. You paid the iron price. All right, that should work now. All right, now what's going to happen? Okay, so we've got our preview working pretty correct. Nix, you would have dodged the ads either way, but you might as well support the development and the sub goals while you're at it. That is very sweet. That you would do that anyway with no material advantage to you. All right, okay. Well, so now I can't get rid of the... Okay, so there is something super weird happening. I'm not sure what is happening, but it's happening. So I can erase this in preview, and then I let go. And now I can't erase it in preview. I can't erase in preview what I've already erased for some reason. Until I erase again. So I can't, it won't let me erase the preview, but if I do that, then it actually gets erased. It's like a two-step process. Why is it a two-step process to erase something? I mean, it's cool, but it's very wrong. Something's happening, but I'm not sure what. It's as if you're hearing your own self while debugging. That's it. There's something happening here, and what it is ain't exactly clear. I wonder if some old functionality is causing us pain? I probably have an old erase function here. This is what we need to do. We need to stop. Yeah, we're using this, which we either need to move this over. So we're using this function for erasing and merging, which is different than the other version that we're using. So we need to deprecate these, because that's, I think, why we're seeing different behavior between the preview and the settlement of the block. So if exclusive, we do the erase, else we do the merge. Either way, we reveal the blocks in the preview blocks. And then this. Am I passing the wrong thing again? No, the output is the settled blocks. Oh, I missed my chance to refill my water. I'm gonna go do that right now. Be right back, like 30 seconds. All right, we back. Yeah, I have a sneaky suspicion here that these functions are causing us pain. I think these might be correct, though. Like, I'm concerned with the... We're just going to comment these out to force ourselves to move over, and then if the behavior changes, we will deal with that. All right, so who gets messed up by this? So erase block out. Do we use this? We should probably... We're supposed to deprecate this function anyway, so we probably just do that now anyway. I'm going to comment out each of these functions individually. Especially because we're supposed to deprecate these. I've had this to do on here for so long. Because, yeah, we have erase block at, and then we have erase blocks in. And we might as well, especially because we have an implicit conversion from a vector 3 to an axis aligned bounding box, we might as well just do it. Hey, Stubenhocker, how's it going? It's been a minute. Over on the YouTube. what do we got? What are we missing? So erase blocks in needs to use... needs to use block.erase. This one needs to use block.merge. All right, what about this? Deprecate in favor of reveal. Let's just get rid. Let's just fix all of these deprecated functions here since we're doing it. Block.erase. Block.merge. Steuben, you're very exhausted today after doing a stress thing for fire department air respirator stuff. Oh. That's cool. Are you like a volunteer firefighter? Or are you like a professional firefighter? That's pretty cool, though. Thank you for your service. All right. We've got 9 more issues. So reveal block at, we can just switch to reveal blocks in. I don't think there's any consequence of doing this. It's like a little inefficient in that we have an iteration that we don't need to do because bounds is sometimes just a single coordinate, but I don't think that's a problem. Or not a real problem, at least. Yeah, volunteer. Oh, that's even cooler then. Good timing though, right? For like summer. It's like fireworks season. Barbecue season, fireworks season, wildfire season. Why do I have this if-else thing? Can this just not be expressed as a ternary? Ternaries are for assignments, right? You can't just use them. Yeah. Or can you? Oh. I don't know why I thought that. Yeah, hottest day today, which was super quote-unquote fun. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Oh, no, I can't do this. Yeah, I didn't think I could. Why doesn't that work? Place block at, place blocks in. Why are those so different? Why does place blocks in take 4 parameters? So place block at takes a vector 3 and a buffer. This one takes an array of blocks. Why in the world does it work like that? Bounds, offset, buffer. Oh man, this is no good. We should be doing the offset outside of here. I'm going to circle back to that one because that one is complicated. All right, so we have a few placing blocks in. Does anyone actually use placing blocks in the way it's intended here? Some people do. Only in the clipboard. So I'm just going to have some function overloads. That are like simpler. Nyx, you guys are pretty unlucky with all that stuff. It feels like you have a new life danger every other week. Hurricanes, deadly fires, the sun and temperatures, Trump, etc. Yeah, we live in a... Do you remember this ancient curse? Which was, it's this really funny ancient curse that people would apparently say to each other, which is, may you live in interesting times. We certainly live in interesting times. Hey, Fusionist. How's it going? All right, so how do I... So I want a version of this that doesn't need the offset. It just takes the bounds. Just takes a buffer and the bounds. I don't understand. This is some complicated stuff we do for only the clipboard. So we are going to forget about all of that. We're just going to copy this and throw it in here. And that way we have a simple version of it and this crazy version of it that I honestly don't understand. This is the version that the clipboard uses. Doing good, what's up? Next, these times are too interesting for you. Yeah, they're too interesting for all of us. Oh, Fusionist, you got the last PC parts. Coffee time, then build time. Hell yeah. That's the correct order. You don't want to be spilling coffee in the brand new PC, right? Yeah, we're chilling. We're working our way through some stuff. We're re-enabling our eraser tool. We broke our eraser tool pretty badly. We knew we did it, and we're kind of working our way back through. And we're taking the opportunity to change a bunch of stuff that we have marked for deprecation for a long time. Brandon, you're pretty busy. Nyx, you're working in Blender. You're creating a small society on top of a tall mountain surrounded by ocean. Currently, you're laying down different zones and individual houses and roads, streams, lakes, etc. Going pretty well. It's a ton of work. Wow. Are you building the components of that in Blender, or is it like this whole, you're like doing the whole thing? Like you're laying the whole thing out in like a big scene? Can't ever be too ambitious. That is the tagline of this channel, if nothing else. All right, let's replace these functions. Okay, we did that. Now, let's see. We've probably completely broken everything. If we don't hard crash right now, I will be surprised. Because we just changed a ton of stuff. So far, so good. Seems like the auto tiler freaked out for a second there, but it seems okay now. I gotta figure out what this graphical error is. It's probably really hard to see it. Oh, maybe it's not even a... Maybe it's not real. There's this weird graphical issue that I see sometimes that maybe it's not even a thing. Maybe it's just my monitor. All right, so far so good here. Can we do all the things we used to be able to do? Whoa. Uh-oh. What happened to our walls? Oh. Okay, there's some weird stuff happening. Kind of like the eraser problem we saw earlier. Yeah, weird. Huh. Okay, so some of the settlement is not occurring. Weird how it let me place the floor, but some of the logic I have for the wall seems to be broken, so let's dig into that. Nix, for now you're just creating the basic shapes with annotations, pencil, and later on you'll go and fill in the different buildings and the like. Got a bunch of cool add-ons like 2 weeks ago that you've yet to play around with. Nice. Rhiannon Journey. Yeah, you work for an e-commerce company. You switched out your tax service provider today. You had some last-minute stuff to work on that. And then a lot of people needing additional stuff before the 4th. I know, isn't it crazy? You'd think people would just be like, get it to me after the 4th. But everyone always tries to jam everything out just before the holiday. Nix, you can't wait to be 60% done and then chuck it into the in the bucket. That is the way, isn't it? All right, so we replaced this erase block tool with, we can uncomment this. So we replaced this logic with our new merge logic, and I think they're very different. I kind of want to look at them side by side. Split right. I almost never use side-by-side view here, but sometimes it's quite useful. So I've got the old functions here on my right that I'm mostly blocking with my face. And then I'll put the new one here, and we will see where we might be running into some problems. Well, the erase function is way simpler. That's for damn sure. Yeah, it's funny how there are no deadlines until there are legal deadlines. And then it's like, those are some firm deadlines, I'll tell you right now. In my work, no one really takes anything seriously until the legal deadline hits, and then everything's panic. Make any sort of change in toolings and providers, and suddenly your whole team is working overtime for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, there's some, I don't know why that everyone always has the feeling of like, we need to replace some foundational piece of work we have. That should be easy, right? There should be no knock-on consequences of that. Yeah, the thing that gets me about that is how there's often no sense of urgency to that kind of work until it becomes a 911, put like a fire emergency, like drop everything you're doing, massive amounts of overtime. But before that happens, it's like it's usually very, I would say lackadaisical almost. I feel like organizations have a hard time balancing priorities like that. Fusionist. All right, we have to move over from Snoot to Plort. Should have taken half a day at most. Yeah. Rhiannon Journey, yeah, the legal deadlines and changing foundational tooling are not fun. Yeah, no, I feel you. What happened to me at work recently is we were getting ready to do this massive change, which would have been really awesome. And it had been anticipated for a long time. So like I've been doing a lot of stuff based on the assumption that we would be able to do this change in the next few months. And then of course, everything got put on hold. And they're like, you might have to keep doing the thing that you're currently doing for like another year. And I'm like, we have made so many decisions based on the assumption that we're switching this soon. And like now life is just the complexity of like the crazy changing directions. And the people that make those decisions are never the people who are like involved in the day-to-day work. It's always some other person way up. Yeah. And you're just left picking up the pieces of whatever strategic direction has been decided for whatever reason. Fusionist, friend of yours, worked for some database managing company. For some reason, they needed to code a bunch of in-house tools. And of course, the tools had bugs, but were already deployed. Surprise, overtime. Yeah. In-house tools are crazy. I've built quite a few in-house tools, and I'm always fighting for time to go back and refine them so that they're more maintainable, and I never get the time for that. I never get that approved. It's always, you get to do the first initial prototype version of the tool, and then never again. And I'm like, I feel like nobody understands what a prototype is. I'm like, you can't just use the prototype as the production tool. Like, we need to go back. Kate, we have to go back. Nix, your favorite deadlines are the ones that come in 2 hours into an important project that you're halfway through. Of course, the new project is high priority, like everything else is. So putting everything down and finishing the new project and then having to go back, having zero idea what you were doing before, is you had to stop. Yeah. Skywalk, welcome to your work life, your way up work life. Rhiannon Journey, your previous owner was really bad about constant changes. Your current ownership's a lot better about realistic timelines for tooling changes and have been pretty flexible. You've been slowly switched out about every major bit of tooling over the last 5 years. Basically everything except QuickBooks. Well, QuickBooks is forever. That's cool, though. That's cool to be in a good position like that. All right, so we're comparing our old merge function with our new merge function. So our merge function looks mostly okay. Yeah. I actually don't want it to work like this. I want it to be... I want to say existent dot add forms. I think our merge function previously was kind of this weird mix of inclusive exclusive, where like certain things would replace each other, but not everything. And I think that created very inconsistent behavior. So I think if we can iron this out, we'll at least have consistency. It might still not be the behavior we want, but we can go from there. Build time, Fusionist. Your last earthly pleasure for a while. We'll enjoy it. Savor it. Savor the smell of like freshly opened electronic components. The sound of like plastic wrap being peeled off of like the graphics card. Nix, thankfully for you, due to your size, your team size, you can spend some of your off time to perfect your tools as your boss understands they're important. Or at least doesn't want to argue after a while. Yeah, I've learned that if I want to work on my tools, I need to do it in relative obscurity. Because otherwise I need to get approval for it. And it seems to never happen. So if it's a crucial enough tooling, I feel like now I just have to do it. I just have to make time for it. But that's cool that you've got someone who appreciates the value of that stuff. I think my people do too. I just think they maybe don't understand the the amount of work that goes into maintaining some of these projects. Fusionist, as long as it isn't the smell of a burning PSU. That is probably... That's in everyone's future, isn't it? All right, so we're going to merge a bulk. Okay, we're going to split this out is what we're going to do. So we're going to say forms.both. I really don't like using forms.both. And in fact, I actually don't think I need a switch anymore. Oh, I need a switch in one case. Which is a door needs to replace a bulk. So yeah, I guess we just say... So we would need to say existent This isn't gonna work forever. I'm not handling this totally correctly. But it's gonna be okay for now. But eventually this is gonna need to be different. We need to say add forms, bulk, and we need to say remove forms. Forms.door. Yeah, this is a problem. I'm gonna run into some issues here. I can tell. I'm gonna say existent add forms forms.door remove forms bulk, say forms.door forms.deck. This is really messy, but hopefully this will work. All right, so I think that's sufficient for now. Do I want to add missing arms? We can try. Oh, we don't care about this. Forget about that for now. All right, so I think that's okay for merge. And then erase is return existent.remove forms outgoing.form. I think that's fine. I would much rather have this down here, something like this, of incoming dot. I should try to model maybe forms. You know what? Door and bulk should not be exclusive. Door should be a qualifier of bulk. Like, you have a bulk and it's a door. Or maybe you have a bulk and it's a decoration, which means it doesn't form a seal. Or something like that. I need to change the way the form structure for the blocks work. Make it more like that. But let's see what we got now. This should work more like how I expect. Okay, we can place floors. Can we place walls? Yes, so far. So far, so good. Uh-oh. Oh, here's a problem. So I have to actually turn on eraser? Oh, it's not letting me do any of this stuff. What if I do this? That doesn't do anything. What if I turn eraser on? Oh, that worked. Sort of. It's not treating that as a sealed space, though. Why not? Oh, is there still a wall there? Oh. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Okay, I understand. We have to change. I've gotten so used to the muscle memory of doing this way. Now if I want to hollow out a space, I think I need to use the eraser. Why doesn't that look right? Will this work? I know it doesn't look... Oh, there it is. That didn't do anything. Okay, so the eraser is kind of busted, is what's going on. Oh, I say kinda. It kinda works. This space isn't being treated as sealed, though, which is perplexing. Why is that happening? I'm like punching holes in the ground. Huh. I'm trying to erase the wall, but I'm punching holes in the ground. Very strange. Alright, what if I build it this way? So let's erase all of this. Oh, that didn't even work. Oh, that worked. So why is it that when I drag from the back to the front, it didn't work, but when I dragged from the front to the back, it worked? Back to front. Front to back. Okay. Maybe it wasn't the direction. Maybe it was just that I had to do it twice. I think that's strange. What if I do it a second time? Okay, yeah. So it's making me do it twice, which is interesting. Why would that be? I understand. I understand what's happening. We're still... What we need to do is we need the preview blocks. We need to understand how the preview blocks can be represented in, like, as a negative. We're still not totally doing that. So this function... Let me get rid of these functions we deprecated, because they seem to be working. I do love getting rid of some deprecated code here. Feels good. I'm going to keep the merge instructions around for a little bit, because I'm not convinced we're doing them correctly. I'm going to keep the old merge instructions around for at least one more commit. We still got to get rid of some nice code. Oh. All right, let's see if we can solve this issue, and then I think that'll be it for today. But but I'm pretty pleased. If we're able to get the eraser back in action here, that'll be pretty good for us. So what needs to happen is this block.merge instruction needs to understand the exclusivity. So this also needs to be able to take block eraser mode. Well, hold on a second. I don't really want it to be here. I actually need to call merge or erase depending on. So it actually needs to be. You need to say if block eraser mode. Else. So this needs to be block.erase. And we actually need a version of this with 3. We need to get this version of the function in place here. And in fact, now that I'm realizing this doesn't actually need to be here. Oh, uh-oh. So we just say if block eraser mode. Get rid of the braces. And then up here, yeah, so in here we need a version of erase that takes all of these, and this just needs to be erase. Okay. That is close to what's needed here. Let's see. Let's see what we did. Let's see what we got. All right. All right. Okay, the placement works. If I turn the eraser on. Oh. 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 Uh-oh. What? Oh, is it erasing the settle blocks from the preview blocks? That's not exactly what we want. We need to rewrite the eraser a little bit if that's how it's going to work. It needs to be existent.remove forms outgoing.form. Okay, so I might be passing in the wrong input and output. Primary input is the existent, outgoing is the secondary. So primary needs to be settled, secondary needs to be preview. That's probably not what we're doing, but maybe it is. I hope that's not what we're doing, or I have no idea. So primary needs to be settled. Secondary needs to be preview. Block.erase, settle blocks. So erase the preview blocks from the settled blocks. That sounds correct. Primary input. So output.span is primary input.span and secondary input.span. Previews. So return existent dot remove forms outgoing dot form. So if you remove forms with a blank form, you should say this with form equals form and flip this. Yeah. You're gonna hop off now, Nix? You gotta make some food. You gotta sleep. If only it was Friday. I know. Well, have a good rest of your day. We'll probably be hopping off here soon as well. I just really want to fix this. I do not want to leave this for tomorrow. I want to work on something else tomorrow. This is the kind of issue that you just gotta get through here. The remove forms, I'm pretty sure works the way it should. Like, this should make no change. If this form that you pass in is empty, you should see nothing here. Oh, so the eraser, We're changing the paradigm about how the eraser works. So the eraser needs to not actually remove anything. The eraser needs to work like the place, like with code things. I think I figured it out. We've changed the paradigm about how the eraser works. So previously the eraser would remove the block from the preview block. Now it places the new block. No, it doesn't do anything. Oh, now, oh man. Maybe we do need to do this tomorrow. Because the preview blocks... Yeah, it needs to place the block. It needs to not erase it. Ironically, we actually need to remove all of the checks here. So, place, command.begin, bound.overlaps, place new active blocks. So let's check this place new active blocks thing. So we need to get rid of this thing. We need to just rewrite this as buffer.span. This is one of those like prove a negative situations. We need to put the block here. Oh, we don't want to merge it though. We don't want to merge it. We just want it to be the active block tool. Actually, I guess merge is fine. Merge is fine. Well, no, it can just be active block tool. We don't need to merge anything. That might do it. Or it might break everything. You know? 50-50. Alright, let's see. Okay. So far, so good. If I switch to eraser, everything disappears. Never mind, you're back. You totally forgot that you got yourself fast food. So you just had like a Royale with cheese sitting next to you the whole time. All right, we have like 11 minutes until the next ad break. I'm giving myself that amount of time. Actually, we have 15 minutes until the pre-rolls are off. That's how long we have to fix this. We're going to fix it. We're going to figure this out. Well, it was a gyro, and it was in the fridge. That sounds good to me. After this, I think I might carve up an apple. I might have a little bit of like toasted ciabatta with a little maybe like feta spread on it. Maybe a little oil. Maybe a little za'atar. Make a little snack for myself. I think I'm gonna have something like that. I should have tea. Feeling a scratchy throat here. That's what happens when you talk for like 3 hours, I guess. Sounds delicious. Yeah, I like putting together little snacks that don't require much effort. And that's kind of... I found a local grocery store that has really good za'atar, so I bought like a ton of it, and I'm like, any excuse to use it. And I found a spreadable feta as well. Really nice, that combination. Steuben Hawker, I'm making you hungry again. Well, it's 11 p.m. You know, that means you're only an hour away from a midnight snack. You're almost there. All right, so why does flipping the eraser on wipe out the entire board? The problem is that the way it used to work is erasing something would remove it from the buffer, right? But now we're not doing that. When we erase something, we place the kind of block we want to erase in the buffer, and then when we do the merge, the system can tell you're in erase mode, looks at what block is in there, and removes that from the eventual combined buffer. And that is the problem. Is I think I've switched paradigms, and now I'm maybe like doing a little bit of both. So I probably just need to go in and figure out all the places that I'm marking an erase and how I'm handling that. Rhiannon Journey, after years of rumors, you think you may get a Trader Joe's in your town? How did you know I was talking about Trader Joe's? How did you know that's where I found the spreadable feta? I didn't say it. That's funny. Well, that's good. That's very exciting. All right. I'm going to not worry about... So let's check out this erase blocks in. I actually think I don't want this function anymore, but that's right now in the copy. It's in the cut. It's in the eraser. If block eraser mode, erase blocks in, well, that's not good. Just place blocks in, just use the active block. It does. It does. Okay, well that's a problem at least. So let's fix that, hopefully. Why do I do this in prior coords? Shouldn't I do this in current coords? Coords. Why can't I do that? Oh, have I not defined coords here? Okay, well, I need to do that. Oh, no, we've recorded that as the prior coords. That's why. That's fine. Lucky guess. Well, you nailed it. So reveal blocks in. That might be causing part of the problem. No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't, because it just restores the prior state. But I'm just continuing to look for calls to this erase blocks in function, because I feel like it's not what we want right now. One usage. Where's this usage? It's in the clipboard, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're going to need to check the clipboard stuff because that's very broken. We'll work on that tomorrow. I moved that into the in progress thing, or I should move that to the in progress thing because we know we broke it. So we're going to move the copy, cut, and paste tool back to in progress. You shop mainly at Aldi's? They have some good cheeses and spreads. Nice. Yeah, I have a Smart and Final for my bulk stuff. And then Trader Joe's for the more fun stuff. Okay, so far so good. Erase. Yeah, that just wipes everything out. All it should be doing is flipping this one piece. But it's flipping the whole thing. Okay. Okay. Is anyone else checking block eraser mode during these situations? Oh, if block eraser mode, block.erase, merging blocks, settle blocks, preview blocks. Well, this is correct. Else block.merge, merging blocks. So there's some failure here. Primary output needs to be, so it is existent.remove forms outgoing.form. I'm going to give myself a sanity check here. So this with form equals form and flip and the flip of this. This is correct. This is the correct way to flip something. So if forms is empty, it shouldn't do anything. But if forms has like a deck on it or something, it should remove that piece. So that seems correct. This is a mystery. I might need to debug this a little more thoroughly and then come back with my idea here. What's going on? So I'm gonna try to identify the point of failure here. I think it's here. Excuse me. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely there. So now nothing's happening. Can I at least test to see if the build system works? Or the eraser system actually works? So if I want to erase this, I can't tell if I'm in eraser mode or not. Okay, it doesn't matter because it doesn't do anything. Okay, well that's unfortunate. Oh, that did something. Oh, the merge is behaving very strangely. Okay, yeah, I think I wouldn't say I understand this. I don't have a solution, but I think I'm beginning to understand the problem, which is the starting point. All right, let's see. So the problem is clearly in block.erase. There's some other problem about like the construction is not working quite correctly. Either way, what if I just put this behavior back in it just to see what's happening? So where is this? So we're going to take this logic, which is the old erase block logic, and we're just going to plug it in here just to see if we just don't understand how this is working here. So I place this and then I switch. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. So it's not the logic of the individual tile replacement. Oh, interesting. Interesting. That actually is interesting what's happening here. Okay. I see you. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, weird stuff's happening. Cool. All right. We're going to pick this up tomorrow. I got to get back to work. I'm running a little late. But this was awesome. A bunch of people showed up today. It's nice to see everyone's faces. You know, not that... It's nice to see everyone's usernames. And talk. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. More of the same. I think we'll stream Friday as well. Try to do a long one, maybe. Since I don't have to work. Yeah, we'll pick this up tomorrow. More adventures in auto tiling. Probably shouldn't commit this to Git. We're in kind of a weird state. Be safe. Yeah, like don't commit this to Git. We gotta be safe. Thanks, Stephen Hawker. All right. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. You heading out? Yeah, I think I do. I gotta get back to work. Rihanna Journey. And I gotta make that snack I described. You can do those two important things. Probably in the opposite order. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Void Const, Nix, take it easy. Yeah, have a good one. See you tomorrow. Exactly. I'll see you then. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
you.